Yo, let's get it. Yo, let's go, let's get it. Live from the mic with the vibes explicit. Hosted by Buddy, the legend in the game. Laughter, stories, you'll never be the same. Yeah, Buddy, it's that podcast flair where the stars align and we venture to share. Yeah. Step into the studio, light shining bright. Buddy Rahming's got the crew and the vibes just right. From comedians to actors, models and more. Entertainment biz, we're ready to explore. Chilling with legends, having heart-to-heart chats. Discussing personal journeys, no tips or hacks. With laughs that echo and stories that amaze. Every episode's a treat, let the conversation blaze. Yeah, buddy, welcome to the show.
Yes. What's going on, world? It's your man, Buddy Rahming. We are back at it with another episode of the Yeah Buddy podcast. So if you are a returning friend, hey, thank you for tuning back in. And if this is your first time tuning in, you know how we do like every episode. I try to bring some of my friends in the entertainment business. We sit down, chop it up, talk about movies, business, whatever is going on in Hollywood. And this episode right here, y'all, we got part three of the what we call it, the one buddy after another. Where me and Brandon Larson right here, we go in and we run down one battle after another and its chances throughout this here awards season, you know, and we are getting to just about the halfway point, going through what's going on with one battle after another. If you missed last episode, we went down and broke down our predictions for how we felt the Academy Awards was going to play out. The nominations just came in last week, so now we're going to dive into go flip back and see what our predictions were, and then we'll see what's it look like for Best Picture. So yeah, man, my Brandon, how you doing, man?
I'm doing awesome. How about you, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm chilling. I'm doing good, man. Ready to dive into this. I spent a busy weekend, bro. I think I probably watched the most movies this weekend I've watched in a really long time. So
oh, me too, man. Yeah, I watched four. Yeah. I watched 4 out of the 10 of them. I finished all of them, buddy. So I watched all 10 of these Best Picture nominations.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna lean into your expertise because I'm still slacking. I still got, I think, maybe like 2 or 3 to go and stuff like that. But it's all good. We go get there. So yeah, let's just follow up. The nominations was announced. Based off our predictions from the last episode we did. How'd you feel about the nominations?
Well, I was really happy to see Delroy Lindo take it down, like to get a nomination, and this being his first nomination ever, to go from Get Shorty to Romeo Must Die to now, he's been around a long time. I think a lot of people might forget about him, but I hope Sinners reminds people of how good of an actor he really is. And so I was really happy to see him get a nomination, as well as Michael B. Jordan. Those two actors for me were standouts this year.
Yeah, man, and you called it too. You called it too for as far as like the predictions go. Delroy getting the Best Supporting Actor nomination, which wasn't not necessarily surprising because he definitely deserved it based off performance. But I would say surprising as far as the fact that all the other award shows leading up to it kind of overlooked him.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, they did absolutely overlook him. And I just was really happy to see the Academy nominate him because I felt that, well, first of all, he was my favorite character in the film. So if you haven't seen Sinners yet, definitely check it out. I think it's better if you see it in the theater, though. What do you think, buddy? Do you think it's better to see it in IMAX?
Oh yeah, I mean you gotta at least see it in the theater or like in my room. I got at least like a projector or something. So like when I want to watch movies, I can kind of have the wall set up like a in-home theater or whatever it may be. But no, that's definitely one of the films that you have to watch on the IMAX to get the whole view of scope of everything. I feel like that's probably the way with a lot of the movies, but definitely like with Sinners. Sinners and Frankenstein is one of the 2 movies I feel that Frankenstein didn't necessarily get the long theater treatment, but those 2 movies, just as far as scale, as far as building up a stage, setting up the setting, design, all that type of stuff, you had to take with the IMAX. And we was talking about it earlier too, off screen. where Sammy was playing the guitar, the juke joint, and then they kind of go through the whole history of blues and how it connects to all the music trends and stuff that we're going through today. Just that whole montage and stuff like that. I was like, that scene right there probably, if I had to vote, that scene alone would have won Sinners Best Picture.
Absolutely. No, that's a good point. I think that it is a real true contender now, especially don't forget that it has broken the record for most nominations in Oscar history with 16, right? It's got, I mean, because before it was 14 with Titanic and La La Land and one other. But
there was something from a while ago, though.
Yeah, it's an older film, but in any event, to break that record is huge, absolutely huge. And you called that. That was your prediction. You said that it was going to have the most nominations out of any film.
Yeah, I like how it's still. I mean, this is still a one battle after another type of thing, but we're getting to the point now to where you can't talk about one battle after another without Sinners right there on his tail, like, hey, bro, we're coming for you. Every single award that you look at, one battle, like we was going to talk about the last episode, that one battle after another could win, or basically have it hand wrap, give it to them. It's like, hey, Sinners is right on their tail with every single one.
I think it's between those two, buddy. I think it's between one battle after another or Sinners. I think either of those two movies are going to come out with best picture. That's my feeling. Now, of course, I'm on team Frankenstein. I just want it to win something. I would like it to win best makeup, something. I just hope it wins one Oscar. I'll be happy if it does that.
So let's break down the list of the best pictures, and after we go down the list of best pictures, we'll give our insight of where we think it lands. Like I said, this is where your expertise comes in, because I said some of them I'm just have to sit back and take your opinion for, because I ain't gonna lie, some of them was a snooze fest to me. I was sleeping, but maybe I watched it. Maybe I watched it too late at night. But
I can list them off for you if you want.
Yeah.
So for best picture, we got Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, of course, one battle after another. You've got The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams.
So if I had to say the one that I have not seen yet was The Secret Agent and Sentimental Value. I think I got to go back. I need to go back and watch F1, because when I watched it before, I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. But that's how it goes sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, so let's break it down film by film. We'll start with their favorite Frankenstein.
Yeah, that for me, I felt the writing was strong. The direction by Guillermo del Toro. I believe he was snubbed from an Oscar nomination. I didn't see his name listed. And so I felt that he gave great direction. And the production design itself of the film, you break it down from makeup to costume to the sets, everything that was touched by the actors, props, everything in that film, they worked tirelessly on, including, and if you haven't watched the Netflix documentary, I highly recommend you check it out, because it's a good hour of just explaining behind the scenes of what it took for them to make this movie. And I think people would have more appreciation seeing more of that, BTS or behind the scenes. If we saw that for every film, and I caught some of it for F1 too, I like to watch that because I like to see the process of making a movie. I think it's really important to see that, because we just see the tip of the iceberg. We don't see the whole process unless you're on set. But for Frankenstein, I give that a strong 8.5 out of 10. I think that it was a strong movie for me. What did you think about it, buddy? Did you like Frankenstein?
I liked it, and one thing that I did, like I said, it was what was disappointed about it not going into theaters is that outside, like say, the strong acting, the strong storytelling, and all that stuff, I was like, it was just a good popcorn flick. Like if you just wanted to sit back and just go watch a movie at a theater, just eat some popcorn and be like, what the, what like that? That was one of the ones.
Oh,
And
I
it wasn't
agree.
too
Yeah.
long. Wasn't too long. Wasn't too short. It was just the right amount of time that you want to be sitting down in a theater thinking about nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, it was entertaining because I hadn't really seen Frankenstein in a while. So to see it, and Jacob Elordi definitely deserves this nomination. I think that between him and Delroy, those two actors for me were the best in terms of supporting a film.
The gore in that movie kept my eyes glued to the screen. Outside just the storytelling and stuff all like that. Because like when you first, maybe I wasn't too did enough to it or whatever, but like when Christoph Waltz's character like fell all the way down to the ground and then like he went to go pick his head up and his brain just, I was all like, what the hell was this? Like what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is this shit, bro?
Yeah.
Like, god damn. And it just kind of took off from there. I was all like, okay, this was up. So I did like Frankenstein from the standpoint that like outside just being shot really well for like you could tell like a award season type of film. It was also a good popcorn flick as well. So it would have been dope. I think it would have got more respect as far as like the award season go. If there was like an actual box office number attached to that film.
For sure. No, I hear you on that.
Mm.
What about Sinners for you? Was that how would you rank that?
All right, so like I think except for the beginning, like Sinners is the one that like even though we're talking about one battle after another, but Sinners is the one for me. Like I'm all in on everything Sinners. Everything Sinners, yeah. So from not only just the attachment to it, as I said, the first time I was ever casted was Fruitvale Station with Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. So just seeing that growth or whatever, but just the scale of being able to tap into almost every type of genre. I mean, even though they called it a horror movie, it still tapped into a lot of different genres, or at least period pieces where you could take away from it. Like, it's like, okay, well, is this a Western? So it's just like, down South type of movie. Like now is this a horror genre? Like for it to be able to capture so many different types of things, aesthetics, whatever you want to call it, just in one picture, I was like, it's cool because like for the first hour, like it literally felt like he was watching like 3 different movies sometimes at some point. You didn't know what type of movie he was watching.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, the first half wasn't really horror, right? Like the second half was horror when we figured out what was really going on in the story. And I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but it reminded me a lot of From Dusk Till Dawn, but better. Like this was better. A lot better. But in any event, I really enjoyed the story. I got sucked up in the world. So it felt very real to me. And I think that that's what a movie should do, right? You should get immersed in the world and you shouldn't be thinking about anything else but what you're watching on the screen. Because if you're on your phone or doing something else, then you're not really watching the movie, right? Like you're not engaged enough to be. And I think that that's what Netflix and a lot of streaming services now are catering to, that most people now are on their phones all the time. And I think that we've lost our engagement. And I think that's why it's so important to go to the movie theater and put away your phone and just watch the movie, right? Dedicate your time to just watching the movie.
Yeah. That was interesting that you had said about like it being like connected to Dust to Dawn or similar to it, because I hear a lot of things about that, but I never really got that.
Oh wow!
Outside of it just being vampires, like in a bar or whatever. If you want to talk about the whole brothers aspects of it, but I never really, outside of the common vampire lore that every vampire movie has, I didn't really see too much of a connection to it with being from To Dust Till Dawn.
the main parallel is the structure. So for the first half of the movie, you don't really know until you get to know that these people are vampires. So that's why I bring it up, is because it was a while ago, and it made me think of it. Not to say that that's where they got the idea from or any of that.
Of course
because
not,
there was so much, it made me think of the film. But in terms of the entire film, I've got it ranked second in my, top 10. I think Sinners was a really strong film. Musically as well, I think it should win all the music awards. Anything composer related, best song, it should win all of that, personally. I also think that it should win for best writing. Okay, I think that I think Ryan Coogler should win for best written screenplay.
No, yeah, most definitely. So yeah, I feel like our top two is kind of like the same. Like Frankenstein would be my number 2, Sinners would be my number 1.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. No, I really did like Frankenstein a lot. Yeah, I like Frankenstein a lot, especially compared to the other ones that we seen. Because what are the other ones that we had on the list?
We've got Hamnet to talk about too. And I saw that recently in the theater, so I checked it out, and it's very Shakespeare. It does relate to Hamlet. I won't spoil that, but there is a connection to Hamlet in the film. So if you know Hamlet and you know Shakespeare, I think you'll get it. And even if you don't know Shakespeare, I think you'll get sucked up into the story. I thought this was really well done. I thought the costumes were fantastic. Like, I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's up for an Oscar for best costume.
I think it is too. I think so too.
And so, in any event, the costumes, I will just say that there is a bit of heavy subject matter where, it got me choked up a little bit.
Okay, because I got maybe like 40 minutes into it till I kind of had to turn it off. I think maybe again, like I just saw it too late at night to really like give it my full attention or whatever. But yeah, directing wise, it was cool. Filmmaking wise, I thought it was cool. Like I said, I have to go back and really watch that one, but it was kind of, it was like a store fest to me between that one and Train Dreams. But I think Train Dreams was a legit snore fest. I think Hamnet I just watched too late at night.
Yeah, and I think you do have to be kind of like, I watched it late at night too, but I like to watch, I'm a night owl, so I like to watch movies at night. But I saw it in the theater, and it did make the experience good for me to see it on a larger screen. And I appreciated the cinematography. I could definitely see the lengths that they went to make this film. And I do think it is a contender, just so you know. I honestly think this is in my top 5. So I would put it probably at number 5 right now. I think that's where I would put it.
Yeah, well, I think when Hamnet won for a Golden Globe, that was one of the ones that I said to myself that I got to go back and really watch it, be on the lookout for that one. So I am going to have to go back and watch it with, my full attention and stuff like that. But from all the good things that I've heard about it, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it won. But I don't think it's going to win.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't think it's going to win. I would be shocked if it did. Now, there was some great acting in this too. Jessie Buckley, to me, could be a front runner to win for Best Actress, but I haven't seen the other actresses to comment yet. But she's definitely a favorite.
And then Paul Mescal, he got snubbed, if you want to call it the snub. Yeah, but Delroy got it, so that's okay.
For sure. Yeah. Then we got F1.
F1 was the surprising one up there. That was the surprising one as far as Best Picture goes. It kind of kind of came out of nowhere as far as the fact that, like, as far as the major awards go, like best actor, supporting actor, actress, all those types of awards. Even I don't even think best director, or whatever, but it's just up there for best picture. That's what kind of like stuck out to me. Is like it's just like, what's it doing here? I guess because they have to have 10.
I think it was worthy of a nomination because I watched the behind the scenes and they put a lot of effort into this. This took a year and a half to make, and the production value, they spent a lot of money on this. This is a Jerry Bruckheimer film, so they spent a ton of money, and they had 12. They had to build 12 F1 or Formula One race cars for this to crash them. And so that alone, you're building these, right? So I personally think this should win for best sound because they were for sound design, not the score, but like sound mixing, because how they made that, how they made the motor rev at exact points of where it would be on the racetrack. They describe that in the behind the scenes. And so what gear you're in terms of driving. And so it's like, for me to hear that they went into all of this specificity to get pro race car drivers on this film, that made it feel more real. And this one I would have liked to have seen in theaters because I didn't see it. I streamed it on Apple. So I don't think that I don't think that I got the true experience of what we should have got. So I would rank this 6 out of the top 10.
I noticed that too. There's a good few films up here that were like direct to streaming or from a streaming company. Yeah, I think there was 2 Netflix ones, and then you have F1 that was the Apple one. That's always interesting to see, like, films like that where, because we only see it from the perspective of like our TV screen or whatever, and not really get the full experience of what you would want to get from a best picture type of thing. Because like Marty Supreme, I could have seen Marty Supreme on my TV. I ain't gonna lie. I could have seen that one on my TV, and I would have been cool. I would have been cool.
Yeah, same here. I saw it in the theater with you, and it was. I could have just streamed that one, I think.
Yeah. I was like, this was the hype for this movie. I'm not really too sure. Marty Supreme. Well, I think we had talked about. Let's dive into Marty Supreme right now. Right. That movie, for all the, I can see why they're just. I mean, all the awards that it's got, is just due. But I can see why they're hyping it up as far as just like the main award that they're trying to go for is for like the lead actor category. Marty Supreme, it's like that movie, like we said, it's like that movie Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler, where Adam Sandler just plays this completely unlikable character. That's what like Marty Supreme is, except when they say Supreme, they really mean it, because every character in that movie is not likable. Every character. I was like, God damn.
And so I agree with you. Like, all average scores. The only standout thing for me was the production design. I thought they did a nice job of making this feel like it was in the 1950s. That was about my only positive in terms of like excellence. Like when you're nominated for Best Picture for an Oscar, it should be phenomenal, in my opinion. And I give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. I think it was just an average movie.
I think some of the actors did a better job than Timothée Chalamet in that movie. I think some of the actors out-acted him in that movie.
Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow, pretty much everybody else. I don't mean to be harsh, but
Tyler, the Creator, did a good job in that movie. For that being like, you're not really seeing him in too many movies. I was like, Tyler, the Creator, doing his thing. It just looked like Tyler, the Creator, with the wig, but it was still Tyler. And then the girl.
I was going to
the
say
girl,
he was the only likable character for me.
yeah.
Tyler,
And you just feel bad for her because he kept getting swindled into Marty's bullshit.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're like, stop, Tyler, damn. But then also the girl. I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but the pregnant one,
Right.
she even did a good job acting. She did a really
Yeah,
good
she
job.
was better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
was
think
like,
it
huh.
was a decent ensemble, right? Like it wasn't
Mhm.
bad acting. It just was average, you know. It
It was
was
just
just a
average, but for the attention that is grabbing, I was like, it wasn't worth the hype.
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. I was excited to see it, and I was thinking, man, this is going to be fantastic, and
yeah.
it kept me engaged, but I just sort of didn't
I
really
wish
care
they had
about the
promoted this
characters.
movie the way Marty Supreme was promoted. I wish they had almost promoted one battle after another like that. Just have everybody
Yeah,
out there, just boom, boom, like especially with Tiana, because we was talking about that. Like this is the year Tiana and Timothy, like the way Tiana has been out there the past since this award season, since one after another hit theaters, the way she's really been out there in people's faces, make sure that she's everywhere, she could be seen everywhere. I'm like, man, I wish they had put that much effort into one after from the whole year.
yeah. I think I'm going to rank Marty Supreme 10 out of 10. The bottom at the bottom of the
Mhm.
10. That would be
Yeah,
my least favorite.
yeah. And you think it's because the characters were so unlikable as well that kind of turned off?
I do. Yeah, I think it deals with the writing, right? So like it was an interesting premise, but you didn't have one character that you were rooting for. So
Yeah,
you've got to have a protagonist, and I don't think that there was a strong enough protagonist in the movie to have
yeah,
a hero or somebody that you like care about, like somebody
yeah.
going through something and you get emotionally immersed
Nothing
in
you
that.
can really relate to from this. I was like, nothing you can really
No.
relate to that to make you be like, oh man, I hope you pull through. Because even when he does, even when he does get some sort of victory throughout the movie, it's not like something you can take away and be proud of. Be like, damn, you really did that shit. The fuck?
And there was some shock and awe moments too of just like random things that would happen so they were playing to that aspect of like, oh wow, I can't believe this just happened. So that
Yeah,
was kind of what they were playing into, that I felt
mm,
that type of
yeah,
emotion.
hmm yeah. All this stuff had to be so extreme because all the characters are so unlikable to you. Like, all right, man, this has to be going somewhere. But yeah, I don't know
Right.
about that one. I don't know
Exactly.
about that one. And
Did
then
you said you checked out Train Dreams? You saw that?
yeah, I tried to watch it. Yeah, I tried to watch that one in like the
Okay.
wilderness and all that stuff. Yeah, that was the one. It for me. I was thinking about it. What time of day I watched that movie? I was gonna sleep through that one.
Yeah, there was like a heartbreaking moment in the film. I don't want to spoil it, but aside from that, like there's one main character, Joel Egerton's character. He does a really nice job acting in it. They
Mhm.
say that he was snubbed from the Oscar nomination, but
I didn't see that. I
you know,
didn't think so.
yeah, I don't think so either. I thought he was good. Um,
Mm,
but in terms of the story, I didn't really like the story as much. It was a
yeah.
heavy drama, and I liked the cinematography. I thought it was shot well. So I thought
Mm,
it was, some nice scenery. I know what it's like to film outdoors, doing a Western. So certainly when I'm watching that, I'm like, yeah, those are real bugs. That's
yeah.
real stuff going on.
Mm, yeah.
But I don't know. Do you think it's worth a nomination? Maybe.
Um, I'll say I'm surprised they got a nomination. I'm surprised that as much kickback as you think Netflix would get because of like what they're doing, like Warner Brothers and try to cut theaters out just in general. The whole theater going experience. I'm almost surprised that they got two nominations in as it was for Best Picture, and then especially for this one. especially for this one. I thought that and this I guess leading towards like the more like political stuff that's going on with the industry. I thought that the Academy would probably lead more towards those cinema driven films, which they did for the most part, like with Sinners and One Battle After Another, and then well, sure, I think that's just about it, really. F1.
Yeah, so Train Dreams, I'd have number 8 down at the bottom. So I didn't rank that really high in my top 10. We also have to talk about Begonia, which is a very odd movie streaming. What did you have you seen that one yet?
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of it, enough to get a good idea. I like the fact, like I said, with Begonia, you always got to have that one just out there type of movie, like in the nominations and stuff like that. That's just so like it's its own sort of like thing. Because Begonia is still kind of like treads to like the dark comedy, but still has some like the sci-fi aspects of it. Because well, I'm not going to give it away or whatever, but
right.
It's just one of those trippy ass movies that you kind of just have to throw it in there because you have Emma Stone attached to it. And that her and the director, they have such a close relationship anyways that you already know that he's going to get the best out of her. But overall, I'm not surprised that it's up there. I like that it's up there. I like when the Academy recognizes those weird type of just out there type of movies.
Yeah, I got it ranked 7. I don't think it's going to be a contender. I just think it's too out there. I thought Jesse Plemons did a really nice job acting in this, and to be honest, I think that he did a better job than Timothée Chalamet. To be very honest with you, but if I'm comparing those two lead actors, but I do think it's worth watching, and I do think that it was worth a nomination because it was so unique, and I hadn't really seen a film like this. So I do definitely think it's an original concept and something that we haven't seen, because a lot of times when we're watching movies, they've done it before. Like they're going to come out with the new Hunger Games, and so we're constantly seeing, reboots, or just different stories. Star Wars is always going to be done, right?
Yeah.
We're always going to see Star Wars every few years, right? So but in this case, it was nice to see a film that took a lot of risks, I think, and it was certainly memorable.
Emma Stone shaved her head. She shaved her head for that movie. Anytime you can have an A-list award-winning actress say, "I'll shave my head for this film," it's out there, so you gotta do something with it. She's like, "I didn't shave this head for nothing."
For sure. And then Sentimental Value, you said you hadn't seen that one.
I had to say, but I was followed like with the nominations and stuff like that, because I know Stellan, he had the best supporting actor, but they also had two best supporting actress nominations. So I'm assuming the acting really there's a really strong story. The acting really carries this movie. That's just my assumption.
Renate Reinsve, Norwegian actress that I hadn't really seen in anything, and she's nominated for Best Actress in the film, and she really carries the movie. I feel like this is all centered around her, so she's the main character in this film. And basically, in short, it's about a daughter that doesn't get along with her father, and her father, Stellan Skarsgård's character, is a film director, and she's an actress, and they don't get along. So it's whether or not can they work together on a film, and that's basically what the movie is about. I'm not going to spoil anything, but that's in a nutshell. And I thought that the writing was strong. I thought every single actor in this movie did a really nice job. So I think it's a sleeper. Honestly, I've got it ranked pretty high. I think that it's pretty close to top 5 for me. I think I'd rank it number, not quite top 5, but it's close. I feel like it's number 6. So I think
based
it's
off of what you just said, based off of what you just said, what it's about, because I think the Academy, they love those types of movies that reflects like who they are. Movies that they can relate to, relationships that they've been experienced. They could anybody that's voted for the Academies could understand what either Stellan's going through or what Elle is going through in the movie. So as far as being a sleeper or something, I wouldn't be surprised to see it win in a couple of the if best actor or support, whatever Stella's nominated for. I could see him getting that.
Well, it's
not best picture, but I see it up there top 4.
So yeah,
he's up there for best supporting.
So he's going to be up against Delroy, and so it's going to be stiff competition.
Yeah,
but I still my vote's for Delroy. But I thought now Stellan could win. He very well could win for this because he's been around. I don't know if you were back in the day, Good Will Hunting. He was in that. So he had a supporting role in that film and did a nice job playing this like professor from Harvard. And so that was my introduction to him. And then all the way from there, from the 90s till now, he hasn't missed a beat. This guy can still do really well in terms of acting. He's a strong actor.
That's interesting. Him and Delroy kind of have this similar paths as far as like just being these strong character actors just throughout the years, and now they're finally kind of, because is it his first nomination too? Stellan?
I'd have to look, and we can talk, more on the next.
We'll talk about that when we get to the we talk about that when we get to the supporting actors. That's no worries.
For sure. But in terms of the film sentimental value, I think it was really well done and extremely, the writing was really good. And I just really enjoyed the story. I thought people could connect with the theme. If you don't get along with your parent, that type of thing. I do think it's therapeutic in a way. When you watch it, it feels real. It feels real. And I think that's what it does a good job of, because the whole entire team, it's not just about the actors, right? It's also about the crew, and they had a strong crew. Like this, this was really well done.
Okay, and then last film, we probably say this one for last just because it's the longest. Oh no, we still got to go with that for one battle after another. So after this film, we'll compare all that to one battle after another. But The Secret Agent. You saw this film. I tried to see it, but I saw the runtime for that. I said, I'm gonna skip out on this one.
I had to watch it. I had to watch it early in the movie, early in the morning, and I watched it at the old Tower Theater. And so it was like an early 10:45 in the morning. And when I got out of the theater, it was 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And so it was a 3-hour movie.
Was there an intermission?
No, there should have been.
Oh my God.
But people had to get up. People had to get up and, do what they needed.
People had shit to do.
But they came back, but it just was, I would say the first half of the movie is good, but it kind of loses me after that, right? It loses its steam. And I just think they should have cut a lot out of this movie. I think that they could have cut about at least 30 minutes.
Where they filmed this at? Was it a foreign film?
It's a foreign film. It takes place in Brazil. So the movie itself takes place in Brazil. And it's pretty graphic in nature, not one that you'd want your kid to see. So,
really?
There's some graphic moments in this, and in terms of violence, and like I said, Wagner Moura did a nice job of acting. He had to carry the whole film practically in terms of acting because it was all about his character and what he was going through. And so, like I said, just too long of a movie to engage an audience for 3 hours. You're going to have to do a stellar job. And so I have this kind of down at the bottom for me, just because of the length of the movie. I think if the editing was tighter, I think this would have done better for me. But in terms of the story was interesting. I liked the characters. Everybody did a nice job acting. I didn't feel like it was fake or anything like that. It felt very real. And I definitely think this is one that you'd want to stream. I don't know that
you want to be on your phone for this one. You might want to be on your phone. You might want to take a couple smoke breaks.
You might need a break. You might need to pause it, because at times I would have liked a break myself, because it was intense at moments, but in a good way. But also the story went on too long. We were getting the point. We knew what was going on in the story, and they just could have just tightened it. I think it would have been better.
Okay. And then now to the grand finale. Reason why we're doing this here podcast. One battle after another. Now that we have the whole top 10, we've gone through our whole spill. We of course said that our favorite films were both Frankenstein and Sinners. But as far as winning Best Picture, do you see any of those two really, really, honestly, genuinely upsetting one battle after another?
The only one that I see right now is Sinners. I think those are the two front runners for me. I don't think Frankenstein's going to win Best Picture. I think personally it was the strongest film for me, but I think in terms of, there's that political aspect of Hollywood, right? That people are campaigning for their movie. And I think that One Battle After Another is certainly up for contention. And I think it's one of the contenders. I don't think that it's out of the race by any means. But in terms of your question, Sinners is about the only one. And then Hamnet could be a potential sleeper that could win.
Yeah, like I think we said this before too. Yeah, Sinners and then Hamnet, just because still Steven Spielberg is attached to Hamnet, and so you can never doubt that man when it comes to Oscars. The thing that will sway my opinion, I feel, as far as like the voting goes, is when you talk about like being political. One Battle After Another, a lot of the stuff that One Battle After Another talks about in that movie is going on right now.
Right.
Like you talk about, like, we don't want to get too political. This is not a political podcast, but with all the ICE stuff that's going on in Minnesota, and just in general, the way immigrants are being treated and stuff like that. It's so similar to like what is going on in today's society that I can't help but to think that won't influence voting. Whether it be for the good, to where because we know how impactful movies are on society and our culture. If they was to highlight a movie, talk about these people as going up against ICE and all this type of stuff, you could imagine the effect that it could have positively.
Right. And I think for me, the film was about a father trying to find his daughter. I think that was the heart of the story for me. And that was the underlining what Paul Thomas Anderson used to get people engaged. He used that emotional trick because all of us, in some way, we all have families, right? So, and so especially if you have a child, right? And you're thinking, like, as a parent, what would I do for my son or daughter, would I go to these lengths to find them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you add the twist. I won't spoil it, but there's a twist in the movie, and so you add that element to it, and it makes you even more engaged with the movie. So in Paul Thomas Anderson's writing, he does a good job of getting us in the world, right, that he built, and creating interesting characters that you could root for, likable characters. I liked Leo's character.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed his performance, and I think he's well deserving of a nomination because it's like the exact opposite of who Leo is, and he played.
I mean, even Tiana's character. When you think about like what Tiana's character did in the movie, like really, like what she just do, you don't really feel bad for her. Like you because she's a likable character. If Marty Supreme had did some shit like that, I'd be like, man, fuck this dude.
But no, I think that One Battle After Another does a good job. You know, there's different, like Benicio del Toro is a memorable performance, right? Like I can see why he got a nomination because he's just so different. Like the choices that he makes as an actor are so out there. I would have never thought that's like 180 degrees of what I would have saw the character as. Like if I was playing something similar to that, I don't know that I would have went that route, but he did. And so that's what makes it interesting. So you had all these different unique characters in the movie, and honestly, a lot of them were likable in some ways. Maybe Sean Penn was the guy that, you know,
I mean, he was still for being a racist. He was still a likable racist as far as racist goes. As far as racist goes, you know, you're like, all right, he likes black women. All right.
I think what I related to him was like the fact that he was trying to get to the top in his military career, and he wasn't getting to the level that he had wanted to get to be in the room with all these powerful people. And so for me, it was like Sean Penn did a nice job of creating a character, right? Like his physical choices were interesting, but at times you could see him acting, right? Like at times at least for me, like I was like, he gave a strong performance, but it wasn't natural, right? It didn't feel, it was just super intense, right? Like, but at times, I don't know, what were your thoughts? Did you think that he was deserving?
I think so, because I think his character the intense, like I think it was right in line because he was like the complete opposite of Leo, and Leo in that movie is a big old stoner. You know what I mean? Kind of fumbling around. So him being like over the top and just on top of everything, like I felt that just kind of went just in line with the parallels of the two characters.
Yeah, and he's the antagonist in the movie too. So there's that push and pull that you need in the film.
And when he finally gets his at the edge, you don't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but no, it was an interesting character that he built. Like I can't really think of another character that would remind me of his portrayal. So I
even
think
the walk and everything is all like you could tell he put the effort into the character.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just like him, like combing his hair a certain way, you know, and so I thought that, he did a really good job. I don't think he's going to win the Oscar though, in terms of best supporting actor, but for him to get a nomination, I think it should mean a lot, you know, especially because this movie had a lot of strong acting performances. The direction was really good. What did you think of Paul Thomas Anderson in terms of his directing? Do you feel that he should win, and do you think he's going to win?
Yes, yes and yes. Just from sitting back and watching him direct, as big of a scale as that was, because I don't think he's ever done anything like remotely action related. So the way he was able to capture both the car scenes in Sacramento, the car scenes on the highway, The way he was able to, because like I said, every character was so extreme. Even the balanced characters was kind of still um, extreme characters. Regina's Hall character, even though she was like a very reserved person, she was still intense throughout the movie. Same thing with like Leo, even though he was stoner, he was very intense. So everything, you could tell that he was able to get what he wanted out of his actors. So that's why I would say, yeah. And then just like I said, just watching him being able to direct, there wasn't really any sort of like Hollywood, say quote unquote Hollywood to his acting style. It really just felt like it was like an independent film, but with the $120 million budget.
And he had a great team around him too. So I think a lot of people forget about like all the ADs and the chain of command that goes in a movie set. When you're on set, it's not about one individual. It's about making sure that it all runs like clockwork, because time is money. And I was just surprised to see what we did in the days that we were there. And so, and like you said, they had the budget to take the time to make this a really good film, because a lot of independent filmmakers don't have that time, right? And so they have to try to do a movie in like 10 days or less if they want to do a feature film. And so with this, I felt that a lot of effort was put into the movie. If we're comparing it, which was our first question of, how do we compare one battle after another to all these other films? And I think that it is a contender, and I think that it is a front runner to win Best Picture.
Yeah, Best Picture. And then to say, go back to like, because they said Paul Thomas had been working on the film for about like 20 years. So
yes,
just that amount of effort, like you're not gonna put 20 years into something that not win the most prestigious award that it could win.
And that's such a great point, buddy, because you hit the nail on the head there. 20 years of him thinking about this story, writing it, getting the funding, doing all these things, right, that he was doing in conjunction with his other movies. So he was doing other things.
Imagine trying to pitch this right after Boogie Nights. You know what I'm saying? Imagine trying to pitch one battle after another right after doing Boogie Nights. They're like, man, get the fuck out of here. We ain't about to, no.
And so I think, the timing was perfect for him to make this movie. And he had wanted to work with Leo on a movie. So Leo wanted to work with him and vice versa. Leo was actually supposed to work on Boogie Nights, but he did Titanic.
Yeah,
so
that was a good choice.
Yeah. And so Mark Wahlberg ended up playing the role that he would have played. But in terms of Paul Thomas Anderson does films that push the limits. So if you look at all of his movies, and There Will Be Blood was my favorite, like of his films, that was my favorite, with Daniel Day-Lewis and talking about like the oil and the greed and all that. I really loved that movie a lot. And so that's one that I can watch at any time. But this one was different for him. Like you said, this was an action movie. We haven't really seen him do a movie like this before.
Extremely political, also political.
Yeah. Yeah, it's polarizing, right? Like, and I think with a movie like this, you're either going to like it or you're not. And if you let your own political beliefs get in the way of the movie, it might detract whether you like this film or not. But I would say, if we open our eyes and open our ears and just see the movie as it is, if you don't like it, that's completely fine. It's not for everybody. You can't, here's the thing, buddy, you can't make a movie that every single person is going to like in the entire world. There are going to be people that don't like a film. But if you think in terms of, was this well shot? Did they, was the editing good? my only critique of the film, buddy, was the music. And that kind of detracted me from at times when we were in these kind of intense moments to hear this, like he's walking through the grocery store, right? And there's this really weird music played when he's walking through. And it just, it kind of made me feel maybe what they were wanting me to feel, like this kind of uneasiness. So maybe that's, maybe that was the point of it.
And then I go back to the whole thing of how many times do you, because with him taking 20 years, you know, to get this whole movie, and then when he finally it drops and releases in time, you know what I'm saying? How many times do you see a movie of this magnitude also reflect what is really going on in the country at this time?
I don't think a lot of people want to talk about those issues,
of course.
buddy. I think it's more about, like, you know,
that's why we sit back and watch it.
Yeah,
that's why we sit. That's why you sit back and watch it. Which is what we said with it being so divisive. It's like people are either going to like it or they're going to hate it. You know, and it's right in line. So we're not. This isn't a political podcast, but just talk about how movies really affect culture and what you know in our day-to-day society. It is the parallels between that movie to drop that movie right at a time where the divisiveness is going on, like that divisiveness of the movie. How you say is usually people's political you know, their political beliefs is that's making them not like the movie. It's also kind of reflective of what's divided this country right now.
And I think what's good about a film like this is you can have a civil discussion with people. Like if we can get back to just being able to talk about movies, this kind of opens the door to that, right? To have a conversation. So I think a good movie either educates you, entertains you, or sheds light to something maybe you haven't thought about. And so I think what this film does, and it's great that it was shot here. I think that that's why we're talking about this on your podcast, is that it was shot here in Northern California, and not a lot of movies are made here. You know, they're constantly filming in, you know, Atlanta or Canada or anywhere outside of California, London, anywhere that's more affordable to make a feature film, and they've got the tax, you know, credits, you know, write-offs and things of that nature. That's kind of, this is a business, right? And so, but what was nice to see about this movie was that it was primarily filmed here throughout all of Northern California.
Yep. And so hopefully, and I was thinking about this too, if we're talking about like our top two movies is One Battle After Another and then Sinners as far as winning. You have One Battle After Another, which was filmed up here in Northern California. And then you have Sinners, who the creator, Ryan Coogler, is from Northern California. You know,
that's so awesome.
So just those two aspects alone. Hopefully we didn't turn nobody off from this divisive talk that we have been spilling about for the past 10 minutes. But all the road leads to the fact that the two biggest movies of the year, as it relates to us filmmakers, especially up here in Northern California, the two biggest films of the year was either filmed here or the person, the mastermind, the brain behind it is from here. So take that into consideration, the fact that, yes, as long as the business and industry side stuff is taken care of and done correctly, they'll bring movies up here. And then as far as getting the talent to, you know, show off the talent that we have it right here. You know what I'm saying? You see the proof of the pudding. Now, not everybody's going to be a Ryan Coogler, but we have enough out here to get to enough talent up here to manifest something.
And we're the capital of California.
Yeah, and we're the capital.
Sacramento.
All these business decisions that happens in the movie industry anyways, as far as like the taxes, like none of that shit even happens in Hollywood. It happens right here in Sacramento. It's like right there at the Capitol, man. Like, yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if more movies are made here. But I do think the success of one battle after another, whether you like the movie or not, the success could bring more work here. Right? Like, and so I think there's interesting areas to shoot here. There's a lot of, I mean, you could basically shoot any place.
Yep.
Right? Like Minnesota or somewhere, somewhere, anywhere, Italy, just name it. And so there's so many good movies that were made in our area, but I'd like to see more made here.
So yeah, this is the start, man. I tell everybody, you want to build the industry, man. Industry start with unions. That's my shameless plug. Industry start with unions. So we are gonna keep this party rocking, keep this party rolling. Hopefully, we get some more union projects up here to create and manifest more careers for people. But other than that, man, I thought this was a good podcast, man. This we're going to leave it off. We went through the whole top 10, the best pictures. Next episode, we're going to break down best directors. Brandon, anything you want to leave the people with before we head out?
Well, I just appreciate you guys watching this podcast and supporting Buddy, and he's an awesome guy, and I just think it's a great time, and Oscars are an exciting time, so definitely excited to see where this goes here in March.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And like I said, man, y'all know me, Buddy Rahming. You can follow me at BuddyENT. You go to the website www.buddyent.com for all my podcasts, stand-up comedy, sketches, and more. Like I said, if you are a returning friend, thank y'all for tuning in. I hope you had a good time. And if this is your first time checking out the Yeah Buddy podcast, hope to check you back next time. Hope you had a good time as well. I want everybody to stay blessed out there, stay righteous. It's hard times we living through, but tough times only make tough people. So we're going to make it through it, y'all. I'll catch y'all the next episode. My name is Good Buddy. I'm out.